Mr. Mack-Poole, 3-minute history, the Hungarian Uprising. Is anyone hungry? I'm hungry. So what were the causes, events and consequences of the Hungarian Uprising? The Hungarians were sick of the bald butcher named Rákosi's hardline rule. He was in charge of Hungary and he was very much Stalin's man. Now, Stalin had actually died in 1953, so de-Stalinisation started a process of more liberal Soviet rule. So the Hungarians wanted to test Khrushchev and see if he would be as hardline as Stalin. The Hungarians also hated the strict censorship, the lack of free press, and just not having a very good economy. Petrol shortages, for example, were very common in Hungary up until 1956. Also, Rákosi's secret police, the AVH, were detested by Hungarians for their very violent and hard-line attitude to anti-communists in the country. Hungarian student protests erupted in Hungary, protesting against the hard-line authoritarian rule of Rákosi, and this turned violent very quickly. Initially, the Hungarians were successful, as is shown by this picture of Hungarian revolutionaries seizing a Soviet tank. However, Imre Nagy, the new revolutionary leader of Hungary, although a communist, demanded to leave the Warsaw Pact. This was a fatal error. This was a huge miscalculation. Khrushchev was enraged by this. Khrushchev is often known to be a bit of a hothead, and he even said during this period to his Western counterparts, "We will bury you." So that shows you his temperament. Well, he invaded Hungary with 200,000 Warsaw Pact troops and 2,500 tanks, effectively crushing the Hungarian Revolution. You see, Khrushchev just wasn't willing to let Hungary, which was of strategic importance to the Soviet Union's security, fall to a capitalist revolution. For if Hungary fell, who would be next? It could start a domino effect. A key consequence was that Imre Nagy was arrested and executed in 1958 in the Soviet Union after a show trial. Key individuals from Hungary's youth, such as Paul Pruk, a 15-year-old revolutionary, had to be re-educated into a communist system, indoctrinating the youth of Hungary to accept communist rule, which it did up until 1989. So the Hungarians, although they fought bravely, and their symbol of their flag was of their national flag with the Soviet symbol cut out, they had to accept communist rule until 1989. And they had no help from Eisenhower or the Americans. Really, Eisenhower wasn't willing to go to World War III for Hungary, and he was scared of Soviet nuclear power in the region. The ruthless crackdown of the Hungarian Uprising in 1956 also demonstrated that whilst Khrushchev was willing to de-Stalinize, he would keep the Soviet bloc for the Soviet Union's sense of security.